Hi guys, it's Christina from Redefine Creative, and I am back with another project for SpiegelMom Scraps. And so today I am playing with the Pink Fresh BU collection. And I am absolutely in love with the colors in this particular collection. And one of the new sequin mixes from SpiegelMom Scraps called In Your Dreams is perfect for this collection. So I'm super excited about it. So I'm going to go ahead and use this paper that has these kind of stitched, like fake stitched lines. And it starts with the corals and goes through the pinks and the pale greens and then the darker greens at the bottom. And I want that to be my background. And so I'm going to be using this 4x6 black and white photo. And these are some of my cousin's little girls. And so I knew that I wanted to use that entire photo just as it was. So I wanted to create kind of a border element down here on the left side. And this is kind of one of my go-to designs, or something that I will often do. And so I picked up some of this new washi tape from Alta New that is watercolor stripes, and it's a very wide washi tape. And the reason I love that for creating something like this is because it gives me a nice wide base to start building my layers off of. So I've gone ahead and started with that watercolor wider washi tape on the bottom. And then I've added just a touch of some black and white grid washi tape from Freckled Fawn over the top of it. And then I'm going to go ahead and start adding some paper layers. So I've got some of the darker turquoise pattern paper from BU. And then I also have one of these square doilies that I'm going to use underneath that left edge of my photo. And I do know that I want a little bit of a dark border around my photo. So I don't want it to get lost against the doily and the white background. So I'm looking at this darker kind of floral print that comes in this collection. And I know that that's how I'm going to want this photo to be framed, because it really helps it to pop up off the page when you have that darker color in the background. And I'm just checking to see if there's any of the other darker colors that I feel like is going to be a better fit. But I end up going back to my piece of 12 by 12, and that's so that I can use the entire background of the photo. And then I am going to just tear a border along the bottom edge, because I've torn the washi tape and the layers underneath it as well. So I want to kind of have that little bit grungier torn look in all of my layers. And so I'm going to extend that to that photo mat layer as well. And I'm just making sure that I'm happy with where everything is kind of lined up and how it's looking. And I decide that I don't like my torn edge of the photo bottom. So I go ahead and pull it off of that piece and go with a different piece where I like the torn edge a little bit better. And that's just me being picky. There's absolutely no reason that it has to be absolutely like perfect, or there's nothing perfect about a torn edge. But I was just being picky about what I wanted it to look like. So then I'm going to go ahead and work on some of the embellishing part. And so I'm going to clear a bunch of this paper out of here so that I can focus on what I want my embellishing to look like. And I know that I want to create a little sequin element down underneath my photo. And so I'm already kind of thinking in my head, what kind of accessories do I want to go along with the rest of it. So I'm definitely not wanting a bunch of these bigger pieces, and I'm just going to pull out some of the smaller, more plain kind of embellishments for this one. And I've grabbed a bunch of the vines and things that have some of the metallic detail, and so I have those added as well. And I know I'm going to use that little word phrase that says BU as part of my title. And so I'm not really picking that out as something else to use at this point. And what I was looking for was this little square, because I knew that I wanted to use that to create my little shaker element on this page. So I'm just going to tuck in those hearts, and I know I want to use this phrase that says I never want to stop making memories with you, because these are twin girls and are always together, and so that was just a perfect thought. So then I'm going to go ahead and take one of these small glassine envelopes and cut down some tags to fit inside. And so I used that white tag as a template to cut some of that darker floral paper into a tag to go in the background. And I am going to go ahead and glue those into my glassine bag. So they're not going to move around. I just want them there to kind of add some texture and dimension. And then I'm going to take a small white doily and add it on top of that envelope, just again adding more dimension and kind of more layers to what's going on. And then I'm going to take my little square, and this is where my shaker pocket is going to come into play, that I want to sit on top of this embellishment cluster. So I have this fitting just the way I want it underneath that photo. And then I'm going to take that square over to my die cut machine. And I know that I'm wanting to use one of these clips with it as well. And so that's going to go on there too. But I am going to take it to my die cut machine and cut out a heart. And so that's the shape that I wanted my little shaker pocket to have, was just in the shape of kind of a wonky heart. And it's just a set of dies that I've had for a long time. And so once I go ahead and cut that out of the middle, I'm going to keep the negative space because I'm going to use that. And I'm going to take my square and just glue it onto a piece of acetate or transparency. You can use vellum, whatever kind of clear see-through material you prefer to work with. And that's going to go on the back so that it's going to create this little window. And then I'm going to take that heart that was in the negative space and put it through my Xyron sticker maker and make it nice and sticky. So I'm going to, when I put this onto the background that I want to use, so I'm just going to grab a piece of regular cardstock here, and I'm going to put it on there so that that really sticky gluey side is face up. And so you can run it through the sticker maker twice, or you can just put some regular adhesive on the back. But I want that sticky side to be up because that's where I'm going to attach all my sequins. So I went ahead and grabbed this In Your Dreams collection that has all these really great kind of aqua and turquoise. It's got some coral in there, a little touch of gold detail. It's perfect for this collection. So if you have the BU collection or something similar, or you really enjoy working with these colors, I would definitely pick up that sequin mix. And so all I did is I went ahead and filled in that entire heart area that already had the glue on it with those sequins, and then I've sandwiched them together. So I sandwiched that star and then the top piece of it that had the acetate. And so now I've kind of enclosed my sequins in that little container, or in that little shaker. And so now I'm just adding a couple embellishments here on the side. So I've got a little bit of that greenery, and then I'm adding just a little bit of a tag right there, and I'm going to use my tiny attacher to put that in place. And then I went ahead and added that arrow clip as well. And so that's going to be my main embellishment cluster on this layout. And then I'm going to go ahead and work from there to create my other embellishment areas. So I go back to the fact that I want that green circular phrase. And so then I'm going to just tuck in and add some vines and some florals, floral sprigs up there as well. And then I'm going to take that same theme and add it up to the top cluster that's going to be above my photo as well. And that is eventually where my title is going to live. So I'm just adding in a bunch of those little pieces that I had pulled out. So I'm not overwhelming myself with looking through the entire ephemera pack every single time I wanted to piece something. You saw in the beginning, I went through the ephemera pack, pulled out the things that I planned on wanting to use, and then just kind of pulled from those elements because it gives me less options and makes it so that I'm really using those things that I want to get used. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some little sequins to each one of my clusters. And you can see I added that BU title up there in the top as well. I did go ahead and add some additional staples with my tiny attacher by that tag up in the top so that all of those elements are kind of repeated throughout the design of the entire layout. And then I have those sequins in each one of those little embellishment clusters as well. And that's going to do it for this layout. So definitely make sure you click down below, check out all the new sequin mixes from SpiegelMom Scraps, especially this one, which is called In Your Dreams. And there is also a coupon code down there you can use in the store so that you can save a little bit of money as well. I'll be back to see you soon. Bye!